still walk into rooms now and people say, hide your wallets. I deserve it for what that is. But that's the true reality of living a life of crime. My mum, she's 17, my mum, when she has me. My dad's left. She gives me to my nan because she's just not able to cope. She doesn't have the money. She's still a child herself, really. That stuff happening, it changes me. In really early childhood, I then start going out into the wider world and figuring out other stuff, realising that actually, we're poor. It started just by going door to door with sponsorship forms. The school gave us a sponsorship form, and we found out that if you Tipex bits out and put little strips over the top, you can change what it is that they're doing. And we would just go door to door, sponsorship bounce, sponsorship jump, sponsorship run, swim, whatever it was, that we could nick the money. And that kind of, that just leads to other types of stuff, nicking car radios, bikes, and then at 16 I meet a guy who teaches me about credit card fraud for the first time. It was all about what they call track 2 information, which is the magnetic strip on the back of the cards, and then it evolves into getting better fronts for them, going more and more on the identity theft stuff. I've been able to open up a store card with £1,000 on it to spend. Money bought me, for a moment, the attention and the love that I wanted. I'm so worried about me in that moment and thinking, I hate the system because of what it's done to me, I hate it, and you just get this hatred. I'm now the criminal doing criminal things and criminal acts because that's where my focus has settled. So eventually I go to prison for possession of an imitation firearm with intent to harm. I'm then released, my son's born, and I tried to go to become normal. I ended up doing 2 jobs in the beginning, and I did that for a year straight, every day. And at the end of it I thought, wow, all I'm doing is paying bills. We can't afford to go away on a long holiday, and we could really, but I'm convincing myself that I need more, and I started then to dabble a little bit, and a little bit leads to a lot. As technology started to get better, I found a disc. And in this disc, it had everything from directors' dates of birth, home addresses, phone numbers, the whole lot, that was just published. This stuff is just publicly published. And I just literally bought a printer and a computer. I made a utility bill, married it up with the addresses, and then just literally just typed them over. In the library, you have electoral rolls. I'd learnt a trick where I could take your card, I can re-punch it, and you can't tell. And simply with just one debit card, so I just put that address to that card, and now I could walk into a store, and you could add those to the finance agreements that we would then go in store and take out. Flat screen plasmas, for instance, back then, they're £3,000 each. 10 of them's £30,000. We was in Sheffield, and I've got I think there was probably 5 or 6 of us out on that day in Sheffield, all working, and we've had a really productive day. We've earned quite a lot of money, the vans are full. And then one of the workers says to me, can you come and help me? I've got to drag this telly back to the van. Literally, as I got to him, put my hands on the telly, police just come from everywhere. They charge us with conspiracy to defraud. My wife was pregnant and we went and found out what the sex of the baby was, right? And so I've got 3 boys at that point, and it was a girl. And so in my head in that moment, I thought, I'm not going to jail, I'm going to go on the run. I don't tell my wife, I don't tell the kids, I don't tell no one. I go and rent a different house in a different name, in a different area, and I move all of them to the house, and I stay on the run for 6 years. I just assumed another identity, and I bought a load of vans and I started a van hire business. I finally get arrested in a petrol garage in Basildon. I called my missus and just started crying like a big baby. Because now I'm caught, I have to let her know, you've been on the run, I never even told you that. And she's shocked, she's like, what? She didn't come and see me for 3 months. So, because she's obviously fuming, right? And then when she walks into the visiting hall, she's holding my son, Zach's hand, and he's just crying, right? And I'm like, what's he crying for? And she says, are you stupid? I'm like, he's crying because you're in prison again, you div. What are you going on about? And in that moment, it all just, it's like a hammer in the face, like, and that was it. Like, I changed in that moment. I say to this story, people go, no way. I'm like, yeah, from that moment on, I'm not doing nothing that's going to make them not proud of their dad. I then get released from prison. I actually go to the job centre. I say I'd really like to work in fraud prevention. So the first thing she says to me is, what experience have you got? I'm like, I've actually got quite a bit, just not from the side that you're going to be thinking, yeah? And she said, look, I just don't think any business is going to, like, with that sort of criminal record. I didn't give up, though. So I just kind of kept on and kept on and kept on, and I was just lucky. My luck on that day was definitely in. I met 3 guys. They were from Vice, right? Back then, it was called VBS TV. They were a new online channel telling stories about people around the world. And they said, would you like to make a documentary about your life? If you wanted to show us some stuff, to maybe go and try and work with some other companies. And we filmed it. And then one of my mates rang me up. He went, oh my God, have you seen that Vice documentary you done? And I went, what were you talking about? He went, it's got 3 million views. I went, what? I took it to a company called Retail Risk. And I said, look, this is me. I'd really love to come and talk at your event. And I went and spoke at his show the very first day I ever done it. And I showed them things that I thought they would know, and they didn't. And this is like high level, right? These are high level retailers. These are the retailers in the world. And afterwards I walked off stage and I'd done a Q&A for 3 hours. Like, I was so overwhelmed by all of what they were saying to me, because I felt the same as what I'd been craving for, that I was accepted. If you've been a victim of fraud, you should be protecting your credit rating. Because nowadays, like, if they've had you in one little scam and they've got all your details, financial fraud, yeah, is inevitably on its way at some point, and it's better that you protect yourself. In the world that we live in today, we have to check everything twice and then again. You know, forevermore, I'll be known as Britain's bloody greatest fraudster. It's not something I'm proud of at all. I still walk into rooms now and people say, hide your wallets. I accept it. It's what I did. I deserve it for what that is. But that's the true reality of living a life of crime. Maybe that reputation never leaves you, no matter how honest of a person you might become.